So we're learning about SVGs, and the first thing is we're using Font Awesome. So install Font Awesome. Understand raster bitmap versus vector images. We already talked about that in the last video. Open Adobe Illustrator, and then create a new project. So we did 100 by 100, and then copy image from Font Awesome cheat sheet over to Illustrator. Select the text tool. Highlight the thing you pasted, change the font, we already did that. Add guides to your document, document setup, and then edit artboards, and then put on those guides. And that gives us guides, change the image size, save the SVG. Alright, well let's try this all again. So we're going to go to Font Awesome, cheat sheet. I'm going to look for that soccer ball. Find soccer. There's the soccer ball, and bam. And so the next thing I want, I'm going to close this one, and File, New, and we'll make it 100 pixels by 100 pixels. And it's funny, the dialog box has really changed. It's 100 pixels by 100 pixels. Number of artboards is 1. We'll go with RGB color mode. Does this have RGB? RGB. 72 bleed, more settings. Untitled to custom, number of artboards 1. Untitled to custom, number of artboards 1. Spacing size is custom, 100 pixels by 100 pixels. And 0000 across all those. And RGB 72. And align to pixel grid, preview mode default, and that all looks pretty good, about the same. Create document. Cool. Create a new project, and then we gotta go get that soccer ball. Control C, Command C, and then paste it in. Command V. That's not what I want. I want this part. Command V, and then make it Font Awesome. And then go to File, Document Setup, Edit Artboards, Document Setup, Edit Artboards, and then this one, that looks a lot better, not quite as messy for whatever reason. And then let's make the size bigger, just right to there. Why didn't my deal grow in size? What is that? I have some new setting here which is totally throwing me off. Crap, I'm on go. File, New. More settings, 00 RGB 72 100 3, create document, paste in the soccer ball, make it Font Awesome. Why isn't it selected? Select Font Awesome. File, because now I can change the size of it, right? And then File, Edit Artboards. And now I should still be able to change the size of it. Cool, now it's working. And you should be able to align here somewhere. Window align. Align to artboard. So it's already centered pretty well. I don't know why I wasn't able to get that 3 times before. Maybe I had the wrong tool selected. Center your image, save this SVG, not file export, not save or web, but file save as. Exports SVG files from Illustrator. So file save as. There we go, entitled 3. And we want it to be SVG. Use artboards option to save as dialog box. use artboards option in the Save As dialog box. If you have design 10 symbols in your Illustrator file, you can use this option to usually create one artboard per symbol. Best export options for the web, so save. Here are the best exports. SVG1, convert to outline. So that's my problem. Convert to outline. Embed, preserve image location. Where's image location? Options, image location, embed. And preserve Illustrator editing capabilities, no. And advanced options, style elements. Advanced options, CSS properties, style elements. Decimal places, 1. Output fewer T-span elements, yes, if that's a choice, which it's not. Use text path element for text on path, yes, yeah. Responsive, no. And then descriptions of the above settings. Output fewer T-spans, responsive, no. In descriptions. Put SVG into a file. So now we're going to save that as Untitled 3. So we can get Untitled 3 and then come to here and we will create a new file, 26. Alright, so now we have the path stuff. And those are the points. So we got that path stuff. Now what can we do with it? Put SVG into a file. Read this article. Primary source for above information is there. So read this article. It's a pretty heavy article. Let's look at my examples, see if I have more notes here for us. So we just did this part right here, Illustrator. And we could just look. So one way we could put SVG in a file is like this. Image, source, soccer.svg. So we could come back to a file here. Soccer ball. Not too bad.
Why'd you need all that path? What does that do?
That's defining the points for the computer to draw that image. It's like, you know, X, Y points in math. You could graph stuff, you know.
What file is that?
That's the SVG file. I'll show you how some of this stuff works too with SVG. So that's one way to put an image into our page. And that's the beginning of working with SVG. And you can see that we need version, MLNS, and viewbox. Let's look at ours. So ours has viewbox. Cool, our viewbox is looking better. But we could take this now and let's just iterate on this so that first version is working. And now let's do this. And we don't need this stuff. We don't need that. We don't need ID. We do need XMLS. We don't need that. We don't need width, height. We don't need all that. We don't need a group. So that should still work. The file is indented with tabs instead of 4 spaces. Fine. Made it big. Interesting, right? Doesn't like viewport width. So we kind of cleaned up that SVG code a little. All right, so let's get it out of Illustrator. This is about fonts. We saw that already. And then we have basic shapes. So next we'll learn a little bit about how SVG works.